Director. Ken, excuse me, Ken Arnswald is a trustee. Terry Burke is a trustee. Linda Starkey is a trustee. Chuck Black is a trustee, as well as Lincoln Knight, who is a trustee as well. So our goal is to enhance a more direct communication and dialogue with the CLCJAWA board that will address the related issues to Wakanda's potential membership. And our planning team is going to assist in the presentation, so I'll be followed by John Barbini.
Thank you, Ken. Board, I think it's fair to begin kind of where we are now, at least from the perspective of the Wakanda Village Board. The Wakanda Village Board felt it could not take action on the resolution that was presented to it by CLCJAWA because the scope of that proposed resolution would, we felt, require us to commit an agreement on final drafts of the following items: route study agreement, admissions agreement, membership agreement, water supply agreement, project development agreement. We felt that it was implied that we would be agreeing to these things. In other words, we felt the resolution was a bit too broad in scope, too open-ended, and we did not want to commit ourselves and our residents to signing off on a blank check. What I'd like to do is ask you a rhetorical question at this point in time, and keep it very clear. Basically, as one elected official to other elected officials, put yourself in our shoes. Given the situation that we were facing, would you ask your boards to approve a similar type of resolution that in effect commits you to agreements that you haven't seen the details of? It's a rhetorical question. We can't change the past. We can point to different things that might have been different, could have been different, but we can't change the past. What we're here tonight to do is to respectfully submit to you some ideas on how we may be able to change the future.
Okay, I'm just going to take the next couple of slides real briefly to describe what Wakanda has to offer. I don't, like I said, I'll do it very briefly. Mr. Bless did a very nice job of summarizing that in his board packet, so this may be a little redundant, but I think it's worth mentioning. Keep in mind that of the new members, Wakanda, will be the single largest new member among the proposed groups, both north and west, resulting in more revenue for CLCJAWA. We're estimating approximately $15 million that has been previously discussed in connection fees. I know that there was a discount that had been discussed with this, but I'm just throwing the round numbers for $15 million, as well as approximately $1.1 million initial water sales. So, those are some pretty significant numbers, and both of those will significantly assist in the water rate stabilization. The last thing I just wanted to touch on was guaranteed financing. As you are all aware, we had a referendum that was approved for $41 million in federal obligation bonds, of which $9.5 million has already been sold. So we have that in the bank. So we feel that we are close, and we would like to move forward.
Board, I'd like to share with you the commitment that the Wakanda Village Board has already made on September 10th of 2013, a few weeks ago. The Village Board, Wakanda Village Board, directed our village engineer, Phil Rickard, to submit an engineering proposal for phase one of a three-phase internal water distribution project. Scheduled to break ground in the spring of 2014. Total estimated cost of this project, and this is, we have to do this, no matter where the water is coming from. We have to do this. higher than we originally expected, but I think a more detailed study has been done by engineer Rickard. The total cost is $11.2 million estimated. Phase 1 would begin in the spring of 2014, as I said. Phase 2, spring of 2015, and the final phase in the spring of 2016 with completion sometime that fall. Our system is an older system, and in order to separate from the water within the system, we have different pressure levels, we have different diameters and pipe sizes. What we're trying to do is standardize that system to make it run more efficiently. And we knew up front we were going to have to commit funds to do those necessary improvements in order to separate Michigan water.
All right, from a technical perspective, Wakanda does have a few things to offer that would be beneficial to the agency. The location of Wakanda presents the potential for CLCJAWA to extend water service into the western portion of Lake County, which would obviously result in additional revenues for the agency. It presents the potential for a mutually beneficial parking arrangement with Lowell. That, of course, is the underlying premise of the whole West Group concept. And from a technical and from an operations standpoint, it provides a significant opportunity for more looping of the CLCJAWA transmission mains, particularly the North Group, the new North Group transmission main and the West Group transmission main could be looped to provide greater reliability and redundancy in the event there was a failure or interruption in one of the mains. There could be feeding from other directions as opposed to just a branch system.
Suppose that there's a coordination of an ad hoc committee in order to address the issues that we're facing, and we were able to then come to agreement for the necessary membership agreements which we'd outlined before. So prior to formal action from the Wakanda Village Board, we're prepared to meet with CLCJAWA representatives in order to discuss and resolve those details pertaining to the final drafts of the agreements which we aforementioned, the route study, the emissions agreement, the membership agreement, the water supply agreement, and the project development agreement. So having said that, we thank you for your time and your consideration, and we ask for any questions that you may have of our group.
Anyone on the board have any questions at this point? No? Anyone with public comment?
I'll have a question. I read in the Daily Herald that your trustees had come off of the recapture issue. Is that still something on the table with you guys, or are you willing to do the +1 pipe recapture that we were talking about and that we proposed?
Yeah, and actually that was just, the discussion was, and what I asked the board for was the ability to move it from a screening criteria, which is a deal breaker, walk away from the deal criteria, to an evaluation criteria, and the board authorized that, that latitude. So that's what that was, and that's what I asked them for. Let's move this from a screening criteria to an evaluation criteria so that we can discuss this in an ad hoc committee with the CLCJAWA board and resolve that issue in discussion. So that's what was relative to that issue.
Okay. So tonight, I take it tonight you're not prepared to say yes to the +1 pipe recapture alone. Is that correct?
Right. Yeah, and in fact, what we are proposing is to have an ad hoc committee so that we can have face-to-face discussions and work through these issues, because there are multiple agreements that have to be agreed to. And in relation to the resolution basically asks for everything. Because if we agree in part, then you've committed public funds, and if anyone else takes action, say our partners in VOLO, they take action, they're joining a route study, and then we back out, we can't do that. So that's why we want to resolve these issues on the front side of this agreement so that we can come to an understanding and move forward.
Okay.
Other questions or comments?
Thank you, Mayor Barton.
Thank you.